Good evening and welcome to 16 by 9, The Bigger Picture. A new form of identity theft is causing a lot of concern. It's called electronic pickpocketing, and it makes it possible for thieves to snatch your credit and debit card information without even touching your wallet. It's a 16 by 9 investigation. You need to see to believe. Watch closely. This woman is about to be pickpocketed, except no one is laying a hand on her.
Here's your Visa number.
How did you do that?
In just seconds, her Visa credit card number and expiration date were captured, becoming any crook's dream.
People shouldn't be allowed to do that.
It's called RFID, radio frequency identification, and it's everywhere. A technology that makes it easy to track shipments, scan items in stores, and enter secure buildings. It's a small radio chip that holds and transmits personal information, and it's now built inside credit and debit cards. It's supposed to make buying things a lot more convenient. Just a quick scan, and presto, the transaction is done. But as easy as it is to scan, it's even easier to scam.
There's your MasterCard number. I'm impressed.
In this pouch, Walter Augustinowitz has everything he needs to steal that information. This is how it's done.
This is the actual credit card reader that we went online and we just bought. We've got them for as little as $3 a piece. This right here is just it's a Bluetooth transmitter, just so I can send it over to my laptop or my cell phone.
In fact, we found the same type of credit card readers for sale over the internet.
When I actually ordered the first one, I ordered a reader online. I'm thinking, can't be this easy.
Walter Augustinowitz is the founder of Identity Stronghold, a company that makes special covers that prevent cards from being read and misused. He says RFID technology is too easy to compromise.
And so what information is it that you would be getting from the reader?
For a credit card, we get a credit card number, we get an expiration date, we get what they have something called a dynamic CVV code, which is like that three-digit code, but it's a different one that kind of changes each time you scan it. Those are the basic pieces of information. It usually doesn't give you your name, but some cards do.
It was an eye-opener to even some of our own seasoned techies.
We're just going to do a quick test. If we were in a crowd and, I was able to walk by your back pocket here. Let's see if you have, I have your Visa number and your expiration date right there.
Holy shit, yeah, it is.
Augustinowitz says crooks can use that information to purchase items with the credit card number. And he's done it in the past.
We've taken just, say, that credit card number and expiration date, picked up the phone, called a 1-800 number, and placed an order. We made up a name, gave an address. There was no address verification, and they just shipped the product. That's your Visa number right there.
It's actually really scary.
Is that your number?
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Altogether, we stopped 21 people. 9 of them had RFID technology that we were able to get. And that's not all. It gets scarier. Augustinowitz shows us this card swiper, which is also an item readily available over the internet. He says a thief can use it to clone your card. Walter demonstrated how easy it was to take my debit card information and transfer it on to his hotel room key. And he did it in a few seconds in this Toronto parking lot.
Here's our 2 cards. I will put them in my pocket right here. We went a step further and said, hey, what if we actually took this dynamic 3-digit code that they're making and just took everything we're reading and encoded it right onto a magnetic stripe and tried it at a store. And we were really surprised that it worked.
The PayPass system is so fast and convenient, not even the salespeople noticed that Augustinowitz was using his hotel room key instead of a valid credit card to make a purchase.
Take a Diet Coke, small, and a bottle of water.
And it didn't stop there. This is how easy it was to use the credit card information he copied.
Yeah, in March.
Augustinowitz, with my permission, took my debit card number and ordered some clothing items online and were delivered to a Florida address.
8325. Well, I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Augustinowitz says he became concerned back in 2005 when the American government announced it was considering using RFID technology in its passports and a proposed national ID card. That, he says, is how he got the idea for his company.
I knew I wouldn't want to be broadcasting my personal information around anywhere, and that's where I actually came up with the idea, well, what if I could somehow shield it or block it?
And in 2006, the U.S. government began issuing RFID passports. They are now his customers. With a new U.S. passport, you get this special sleeve developed by Augustinowitz. Canada plans on issuing RFID passports starting 2012. In Canada, RFID technology is relatively new. MasterCard implemented it 5 years ago, and Visa as recently as last year. Although American Express uses it in the U.S., it has not come to Canada yet, but it will be soon. These companies are banking on the convenience of the card over cash. We went to the big credit card companies to talk to them about how easy it was to capture a number and expiration date.
There are always people looking to do bad things to try to get money out of the system. It's our job and it's our responsibility to ensure that we keep the bar moving higher to keep the fraudsters away from our payment system.
Oliver Manahan represents MasterCard Canada.
For the sake of convenience, are we in fact compromising security?
There is a difference between RFID technology and PayPass technology. So we have specifications over and above, like generating the dynamic 3-digit code. We're not basic RFID technology. We leverage specifications on top of that to make sure that the security is first and foremost.
Michael Bradley defended RFID technology on behalf of Visa Canada.
Visa cards are extremely secure. We rely on multiple layers of security to protect cardholders. So starting first and foremost with zero liability.
And the antenna is basically fastened to a small black dot, which is the actual microprocessor radio chip.
Bob Moraz is the president of RFID Canada. He says it's a $7 billion industry worldwide, and it's growing every day. From watches to small chips like this.
That's what we use to implant into animals.
The ease at which these cards were compromised concerns him.
How vulnerable are we?
Well, the technology is always going to be in doubt. Any technology is always going to question. I think we probably have to do a better job. We're also talking to credit card companies how better to address and answer some of the questions.
And RFID technology has now exploded into our lives. And it's not just credit and debit cards that worry people. It's now inside enhanced driver's licenses, which can be used at the Canadian-American border crossings instead of a passport. But here's a surprising development. Why did the RFID industry warn the federal government about their own technology? The president of RFID Canada has some serious concerns.
The technology used in the enhanced driver's license is not secure, it's not encrypted, and it can be read from a long range distance. Typically, you could read it up to 40, 50 feet away. I want to say that it's unfortunately, a very poor deployment of the technology.
Coming up on 16 by 9.
Okay, we got to read. We had a pretty good idea that we could clone the cards, but we were surprised at how far away we could read the tags.
We're not going to shut up because this is the truth.
That's all coming up. Welcome back to 16 by 9, the bigger picture.
RFID, or radio frequency identification, isn't just in your credit and debit cards. It's also inside some of the new driver's licenses, and very soon, Canadian passports too. We showed you just how easy it was for crooks to potentially steal sensitive personal information. But what about those new driver's licenses? Tonight, a startling revelation. Why did the RFID industry caution the Canadian government about its own technology? 16 by 9 investigates.
What we're going to do is measure out 30 feet or so and see if we get a read range.
This is Carl Kosher. He was part of a group of computer science PhDs at the University of Washington who worked on a study in 2008 on RFID security.
Pull that out and I'll let you know when to stop.
Their findings were critical of RFID technology, and this was one of the experiments that raised a huge red flag. On one end of this hall is a card with the same RFID chip found inside the enhanced driver's licenses. And on the other end of this hall is a reader, like the kind anyone can purchase online. In between them, nothing but empty space. 30 feet of empty space.
Okay, we got a read.
Bingo! Captured is the special security code on a driver's license. Potentially, some crook can capture information on an enhanced driver's license this far away.
We had a pretty good idea that we could clone the cards, but we were surprised at how far away we could read the tags.
The study examined two elements of RFID technology: stealing personal information, and even scarier, cloning it.
Say you found someone that looked approximately like you. If they happen to have an enhanced driver's license, you could read their card serial number from quite a distance away, clone that serial number, put it onto a card that you use at the border, and perhaps use that person's identity to get through the border.
In fact, he showed us how easy and quickly it could be done. With the serial number now safely copied in his computer, Carl can then duplicate the chip onto another card, which he refers to as a tag.
People are obtaining these tags and using them and not fully understanding the full consequences.
The study also revealed how easy it was to track people by using RFID technology in the enhanced driver's license.
These RFID readers can pick up the serial number from your enhanced driver's license and relay that to a central database. And from there, we can figure out where your card is and thus where you are.
I think it was a bad choice of technology.
The person making that surprising statement is none other than the president of RFID Canada, Bob Mraz. Ontario, Quebec, British Columbia, and Manitoba are now rolling out the new enhanced driver's licenses. It's supposed to make crossing the Canadian-American border easier, a replacement for a passport.
The enhanced driver's license was something that was established after 9/11 by Homeland Security.
But Mraz reveals to 16 by 9 an industry shocker. They warned the federal government not to follow Homeland Security's blueprint for enhanced driver's licenses.
The technology used in the enhanced driver's license is not secure, it's not encrypted, and it can be read from a long range distance. Typically, you could read it up to 40, 50 feet away.
According to Mraz, it has to do with the radio frequency. Because credit cards and the new passports operate with lower frequencies, a person needs to be close to the chip in order to read it. But with a higher frequency, you can be much farther away. It was created to be convenient for border agents who no longer have to take a card and scan it. The information can be read from inside the vehicle.
If they were to use the same technology that's already used in passports, then that would have been a good choice of technology. But by going with a different technology, one that is less secure than the passport, concerns me.
The thing is this kind of crime people need to know about, because they don't, if you don't know the vulnerabilities there's no way you'll know to protect yourself.
Walter Augustinowicz says the success of his business is proof that there is a big concern about RFID security. The American and Canadian governments are now among his customers. His protective shields are now being issued with every passport and enhanced driver's license.
At some point, though, they're gonna recognize that there is an issue here, and we just need to take care of it.
No one from Canada Border Services would interview with us for this story, but we did speak to Adam Grossman, a spokesperson for the Insurance Corporation of British Columbia, the Crown Corporation that issues driver's licenses in BC. He says, no worries. Even if you did capture a serial number on the enhanced driver's licenses, there's nothing you can do with it.
Now, unless you're a pretty advanced hacker and you can access the US Department of Homeland Security's database or that of the Canada Border Services Agency, then you're not really going to get any information off that card.
But if it's so safe, why then are they issuing protective sleeves?
What we say to our customers is keep that card within a protective sleeve. The only times you really need to be taking it out of the sleeve are when you're 10 meters, or I think that's approximately 30 foot away from the border crossing guard themselves.
But Carl Kosher says this study proves them wrong, and that this technology can easily be compromised.
If they're just relying on the technology, then I don't think they're taking this study seriously.
For now, enhanced driver's licenses are voluntary in Canada, but experts say expect to see that change in the future. In the meantime, Walt Augustinowicz says he's not stopping from spreading the word about the flaws in RFID technology, despite the many warnings he's received from the big credit card companies.
I'm not afraid to speak the truth, and that's why when we've gotten some of these legal letters, we've just sent back to them and said, we're not going to shut up because this is the truth.